Just Tony Basilio, welcome you to the Raymere studio tonight. Tennessee loses in Nashville, 75-62. They charged filet mignon prices, and they served you flank steak. Gristle. That was gristle tonight. Filet mignon prices for gristle. And those of you that are at the game, you know what I'm talking about. Here we are tonight. And this basketball team is a rough watch as we speak. Matt Dixon's going to join us. Just a few thoughts on the game. First of all, you can't do what Tennessee did tonight. They made way too many losing plays tonight in the basketball game. You just can't. First of all, you can't go 8 for 18 from the foul line against a good basketball team. Not going to work. Secondly, you cannot only turn them over 6 times. Not going to work. Okay, and I'm in here even confusing myself, but Tennessee tonight just didn't do. They just didn't play winning basketball. They didn't play winning basketball at either end. They don't look very good. They've lost 3 in a row now for only the 3rd time in the Rick Barnes era. If there's one consolation to this, it's right around this time during the season of back in the day. Oh, God, why am I forgetting that kid's name? A couple years ago, Matt, we talked about it yesterday.
Dalton Connect team lost 3 in a row, I think, to Purdue, Kansas, and both of those were in Maui. And then they lost that game at North Carolina.
Blowed out. Yep. And then they went on. Yeah,
it was about the worst first half of ball Barnes has had, and then Connect kind of went off in the second to make it look respectable. But yeah.
And so here we are. We have a lot to talk about. How quickly I forget. But the Vols just didn't play well tonight. And here's the thing about Illinois coming in. You know, we talked to a couple people leading up to this game. Illinois hasn't shot the ball all year. We had Mark Griffin with us yesterday. He said eventually, and Nashville, we were talking about it on our winners and losers yesterday, presented by Dos Equis /VIP Play. Shout out both them, as we're on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. But we were yesterday talking about just the nature of eventually these teams that can shoot the ball are going to shoot. You just hope you're not there on the night when it happens. Well, guess what? Tennessee was there on the night when it happened because they shot the ball. Illinois did 11 for 28 from three-point land, 39%. To Tennessee's paltry 6 for 20, good for only 30%. And Illinois made winning plays in the game tonight, and Tennessee did not. And really, if you want to point to one focal point where the game changes, where the game turns, and it's part and parcel of what we saw tonight. Gillespie, when he goes in, everybody watches him. He cannot believe he's wide open at the rim. And at the last second, he thinks, do I lay it in? Do I dunk the ball? Do I lay it in? Do I dunk the ball? Do I lay it in? Do I dunk the ball? Nah, I just fall out of bounds, basically. I get a shot up that goes under the netting and falls out of bounds. I mean, that encapsulates the last 2 nights for the Southeastern Conference basketball teams that played in that gym. Because, look, I took great solace in Kentucky getting worked last night. We got worked tonight. I took a lot of glee in Kentucky getting worked last night. We got worked tonight by an Illinois bunch that needed that win. So there you have it. It's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and your Garza Law Firm. And that Illinois team, when they shoot the ball the way they shot it tonight, can compete with anybody in college basketball. They haven't been doing that so far this year, which is why they're in the teens, kind of where we are. But this Tennessee team's got a ton of work. They've got a ton of work to do. Matt, your thoughts on what we saw, then we go to the phones.
Yeah, just a team that's struggling to play well. Confidence seems to be an issue with right now, and just a really bad second half. And really, I guess, kind of those last 10 minutes where Illinois just kind of ran away from you there. We've talked about it in the past, kind of like Kentucky last year. When you play these 5-out teams that can space the floor really well and move the ball well, whether it's kickouts or ball reversals, you can always get open looks against our defense because we overhelp and we're really aggressive there. So when teams can space the floor and move the ball around like Illinois does, we give up a lot of open shots, and then all the offensive rebounds in the second half. And then Tennessee, just a lot of those sloppy, really basically unforced turnovers that we had there in the first half where you just give away possessions.
Yep.
Those get you beat. The free throw shooting was really bad. Just a really bad night.
To the phones we go.
Amen continues to struggle. Obviously,
man.
That's kind of the key. You're not going to beat any good teams.
No.
The rest of the way when he struggles like that, you just got to figure out a way for him to get out of it.
Next crack at it will be Louisville. I don't like Tennessee's chances in that game the way they've looked. They might have their first 4-game losing streak under Barnes during his 10 years here, and I don't think that was supposed to be in the cards, but it is what it is. You're playing legit teams, and the Syracuse team you saw the other night, they're okay. As you saw out there in Vegas, they got blown out in their third game, but these are legit competition teams you're playing, and if you don't do little things, you're not going to beat these teams. It's pretty simple. The good news is that the league's not very good. Now, I hate to tell Jimmy Dykes that, who was like in full show mode tonight. And they were in full show mode for the Vols, Matt, tonight, talking about how, it was a really good thing that Ament turned it on in the second half. I mean, if that's turning it on, wake me up when it's over. That's turning it on. Showing like a pulse, driving with a basketball, making an offensive move at the goal. That's turning it on.
Yeah, I don't think anybody turned it on in the second half.
No.
So, but like you said, the league is very down from where it was last year.
Yep.
Which, obviously you weren't going to be that good again.
Yeah.
Especially in the non-conference. So basically everybody in the league's taking a big step back this year, except for maybe Vanderbilt.
One observation on Amen I want to make, and then we'll go to the phones. When you watch him against these veteran teams, the one thing that's apparent to me in old school college basketball, you know what you do at Nate Ament? You redshirt him, and you put 20 pounds on him, and you get him stronger. I'm just saying. I know it's a silly thing to say, but he physically just looks like a guy that's struggling at this level right now. And look, I'm telling you, he's got a kind of a banged-up wheel, which he does. But physically, he's a pretty thin, slender guy. And obviously in the coming years, he's going to gain some weight. Back in the day, though, back when this was a veteran-laden sport, what you did is you took guys like him before they jumped. Now, of course, obviously, that's foolhardy talk because he'll be starting his pro clock somewhere, or will he next year? I don't know. He's been pretty bad in this little stretch of games here. There's still an excellent basketball player in there, no doubt about it. Let's go to the phones. 865-200-5402. Tennessee's run here in these sports, they just continue to lose games. It's weird, man. It's been a weird run. 865-200-5402 if you want to join us on a night where the Vols stay in the state, get beat 75-62 in front of a sparse crowd down there. Hey, Matt, literally they were charging $300 to sit downstairs courtside, $300, $400 for some of those seats. Am I missing something? And the Tennessee fans that went, did you feel like you got your money's worth out of that? I mean, my gosh. Let's go to the phones.
I'm not sure it's worth $300 if they had been back-to-back with the Kentucky Gonzaga game with how lopsided that got last night.
Thank you. The SEC got whacked, Jimmy Dykes. Whacked. Back-to-back games. I mean whacked. Hello and welcome in. You're our first caller on the air.
Gino Bozo.
I'm surprised you don't have a date tonight, Cattle Call. Oh, that's right. You never had a date. Let's go back to our phones and get our next call in. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Well, I'm back. This is Dave.
Hey, Dave, welcome back, man.
Tony, there's absolutely zero excuse how Barnes constructed this roster this year. He's been in this thing for 40 years.
Yep.
And it's inexcusable to be bad. It's inexcusable to be bad. You can go out and get good players. And he didn't do it. Now, Carey's okay. Gillespie's okay if he had any help.
Yeah.
He's got no help.
No, he
can't be your primary 3-point shooter and be the primary ball handler.
You know, you were telling
me no help.
I laughed at you several weeks ago. I might have to get me a bumper sticker that says "Nega Dave was right," because this basketball team right now looks like it's going to struggle to play 500 basketball in our league because there's just not enough scoring there, Matt. And the truth is, the other thing Dave said is Boswell's your 2-guard in the offseason, and I said there's no way that's true. He played 27 minutes tonight, Matt, in a real game, and I think he's their 2-guard because I don't think the guy they got from Israel can play. And I don't know who else is a 2-guard out there, Matt. I don't see their 2-guard unless you see one, Matt.
Besides Abram.
Abram. Yep.
I mean, I think those two combined for 15 tonight, but I mean, they didn't really help you. But no, Bergs doesn't help you.
No.
They're running him at point, and it's just a disaster. They had that disaster lineup coming out of, I think, the under 12 time out of the second half where you had 5 backups in.
They did it in Syracuse, too.
Like, what are you trying to do?
I don't. They did it at Syracuse, too, Matt, where they put a lineup on the floor. Literally one of the more unoffensive lineups. It looked like the Wade Houston days.
They don't play defense either.
That's right.
And our transition defense, this is the first year our transition defense has been really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Ziegler covered up a lot of that getting back, but I mean, we're just giving up a lot of stuff in transition that we never used to.
It's not only that, guys. How many times do we get driven to the hole? We couldn't guard anybody.
No. Tonight, Boswell worked Gillespie. He just worked him. He kept going around him, dishing and kicking, rinse, repeat, dishing and kicking. That's a pretty disappointing effort by our Vols. Really was.
And I just hate to say it, guys. You got to go out and get proven players. I don't care. There's so very few guys like the guy that played at Duke last year and the guy that played at Duke this year. They are far and few between. They're just not very. The rest of them, they may average 10 points a game. They're all right. And they get drafted because of their potential.
You're right. The 5-star guys. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, this guy, he's not going to, they got him projected top 10. I don't see how, but they do.
Yeah.
They got Cameron Carr projected number 10 right now.
Yeah.
Okay? He sure would help this team.
Dave,
Barnes has got to change. If he's got this team may just make him quit. This might be it. He might want to.
Dave, come on.
He might. No, Tony. I think Dave. Barnes might say,
Dave,
I can't deal with this. I don't put a different roster together every year, and you're not knowing what you're going to get.
Dave, the bad break they got is when they didn't get McNeely. Come on, man. When McNeely, who, by the way, is like the third, he's probably the 4th best player at Louisville right now. That's how stout they are. In their second year under Pat Kelsey, they flipped it there. I mean, they have flipped it. They're very good. They had
he's a modern day coach, Tony. He plays a modern game. He's got a bunch of shooters on the perimeter.
Yeah.
And everybody says, Illinois is a bad match. Illinois played 5 out last year against us.
Yes.
Illinois played 5 out 2 years ago against us.
Yes.
We beat both those teams. We don't have enough people that can knock down shots. We don't have anything close to a Chaz Lanier on this thing.
I'm not arguing.
And
Thank you.
We definitely don't have anything close to Dalton Cadet.
But
and my last thing on Ament.
Yeah.
God love him. I'm glad he decided to play for the orange and white. But, Barnes went all in on this guy, Tony. He can't.
Yes, he did.
and he's coming up crap.
Well, it's early. Thank you, Dave. Look, here's the thing about this season. It's early, it's early, it's early, it's early, and it's early. And it's still early. And the Vols have lost 3 in a row, and I don't like their chances with Louisville. Now, where the game's being played, I'm not. At the end of the day, I just look at our team and I say, okay, what's our identity? What do we do well? But then furthermore, where are the points going to come from? Because if your point guard doesn't shoot it and go off, Matt, where are the points going to come from on this team?
You have Gillespie go off like he did against Rutgers.
That's right.
When he went for like 30. I mean, you just got to have that's where Amon's got to give you that 15 to 20 in games. You got to figure out a way to do that and do it in an efficient way. You can get to the free throw line and, you're awful there tonight, but
one of those games, I don't know. Man. Yep, one of those games. And the thing is, look, it's not a snap judgment sport, but it's also a don't pee down my leg and tell me it's raining deal. You can't miss all those layups that Tennessee missed tonight. You can't miss those foul shots that they missed tonight. And they just didn't look. And then you got a guy out there like Larry Scarlatti officiating tonight who, I mean, my gosh. But I'm not going to blame officiating for that game. It is weird that neither one of the SEC teams that played in the gym this weekend could shoot the ball for crap. I mean, Kentucky looked awful last night, and we said to them, hold our beer. I mean, we were so bad shooting the basketball tonight. 37% from the field, missed several layups, missed all the foul shots that you would want to miss. And then didn't play winning basketball on the defensive end. This is a very un-Rick Barnes-esque basketball team thus far. More calls after this. You're tuned to Garza Law. Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and my Garza Law Firm and your Garza Law Firm. Folks that live, work, worship with us, play with us in our community, work around us, not carpetbaggers. They're online at garzalaw.com. Your go-to law firm. DUI defense, criminal defense, personal injury, Social Security, disability, a myriad of other matters pertaining to the law. Don't play around. This is your life. Available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, special shout out to our friends at WeShipFloors.com. We Ship Floors where the pricing's insane. The Supercore floor is the real deal Holyfield. And for right now, you're invited to head over to the website and take advantage through this holiday season. Ladies and gentlemen, what am I talking about? I'm talking about the sale. I'm talking about put the promo code Tony in and you'll get 45% off. Put the promo code NEGADAVE in for 35% off, and that's the sale going on through the holiday over at WeShipFloors.com. Shout out to Alan and the gang at We Ship Floors. Also, speaking of the holiday, ladies and gentlemen, my friends at Calhoun's, feed the family for the holidays. You got it. Hot and ready smoked turkey. You have a feed 5 or a feed 10 option, or hot and ready smoked prime rib. It's all fresh, it's all delicious, and you'll get more at holidayfeedpacks.com. Again, holidayfeedpacks.com. All the information you need. And we're also presented by our friends at T3 Vodka. Score a T3 every single time with Tennessee's premium vodka. Handcrafted with passion, precision, and a whole lot of pride. T3 Vodka taking our volunteer state by storm. T3 Vodka. Handcrafted in the majesty of the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains, where quality isn't just a promise, but a way of life. Filtered 10 times, 80 proof. A smoothness unmatched. T3 is a 5-time gold medal winning vodka. And the 2025 SIPS Consumer Choice Award medal winner. Whether you're sipping it neat on the rocks or mixing your favorite cocktail, T3 Vodka, your choice for a premium award-winning experience. Hit a T33 and ask for T3 Vodka by name at your local restaurant or at your wine and liquor store. Distributed by Athens Distributing, and please drink responsibly. And speaking of responsibly, let's now get back to more on your Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. And shout out to Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. My band today, Fountain City Ramblers, we played their Christmas party. And, man, it's just fantastic. We were at Marble Hall downtown, the bowling alley this morning and into the early afternoon, and just a wonderful time and just great people, the folks in that room. First-class folks. 865-200-5402. Here's the thing about basketball seasons is that they're processes, okay? Right now, the Vols do not look good. They do not look like a quality basketball team. They are too player dependent for my blood. But look, let's talk in a month. What kind of seasons Akpar are going to be having in a month? Who else is going to emerge between now and a month? I mean, these are questions that will determine what this team is going to look like. Will another two-guard come online? Can Estrella get back to the form that he was in? You know, him only playing 7 minutes tonight. And it's a shame because he was really having a great early part of the year. But right now, does Tennessee look like one of the 25 best teams in the sport? Probably not really. Probably not really. And the Ament guy has gotten roughed up so far in this stretch of games. He has kind of taken his lumps. And we're going to watch along as well with some of this football stuff that's on here. A couple of championship games, both of them equally compelling. James Madison might sneak into the playoffs if Virginia loses tonight. That is one of the craziest things in the world. And Alabama to the Yinzers in Pittsburgh and the Ewans and the Hughes guys where I came from. Listen, Alabama's not a playoff football team. I'm sorry. I didn't do it. But I digress. I'm trying to do anything, Matt, not to talk about this basketball game. I'm violating one of the cardinal rules here on Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in and welcome on. Hi.
Tony, it's not a pleasure to be here tonight.
What's up, brother?
After watching that massive turd coiling around the bowl of Gaylord Entertainment Center or whatever they're calling that place now.
Yep.
Which it was actually $1,300 to sit in the first two rows. Zach and Elizabeth.
Yeah, my son was telling me that one of his buddies reached out to him, and a friend of his or family had tickets they couldn't use and wanted face value. My son's like, well, how much? And the guy was like $400 each. And Anthony said, Dad, you know they're that? I said, oh yeah. I said, I don't know what gives them the right to charge that kind of money, but from the looks of things, Zach, not a lot of people took them up on their offer because that's a pretty sparse crowd in there tonight.
Nope. I mean, more Illinois fans. Let's see. I'm trying to remember. We went to Champaign last year, but they had come to Knoxville 2 years ago when we had Connect, right? Mm-hmm. Is that right? So we did. Okay. I thought for some reason I was mad at Danny White I thought he may have given up a home and home, but no, he didn't.
Yep.
So
1-1 and neutral.
Work in progress.
Yep.
No, work in regress. This thing is going backwards.
Feels like it.
Rick Barnes built this team for what, one game so he could avenge the Houston loss last year? I don't know. These rotations are goofy as hell. Did you see some of the lineup? Did you see some of the lineups tonight?
No, Matt's right. At times he has combinations on the floor where there's literally one guy out there that can score and nobody that can defend.
Nobody defends.
Nobody defending.
Some of the, I mean, with that rotation thing where they kept, like you said, helping out up to the top, and they were leaving that three ball open, and they started nailing that thing, and because it was competitive. I mean, as bad as we were still in it with about 8 minutes to go, and then that thing started going in, and it just became impossible. There's not what I mean. I don't even know if there is a solution for this team. I went a week. Let's see, it was a week, and was it 2 weeks ago? I thought this team might be as good as last year's, and now I'm like you. I don't think they'll be 500 in the league.
No, I didn't say that. I said they look like a team that could end up there. And Dave might have a bumper sticker because I shot my mouth off to Dave and said that Boswell will not be a two-guard playing real minutes. That's wrong. Boswell is going to be because they can't find anybody else. So he's going to be a two-guard playing real minutes. The problem when you have Bishop Boswell playing real minutes as a two-guard is 7 points is not going to cut it against real competition. He's good on defense. He's not that good.
Yeah.
He's not Gary Payton out there. He's not that good.
No, he ain't the glove.
No.
I mean, he's not even a special sauce. But Gillespie is kind of embarrassing himself here in his home state. I mean, I like the guys, whatever, but if Berg, he's committing so many atrocities out there on the floor, he should just go back to Israel and join an IDF. I don't know. This thing's crazy.
Well, thank you, Zach. I don't know if I want to go there, but appreciate the call nonetheless. Hello and welcome into our next call. We're playing basketball here. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony, DR Vol. I'm enjoying this football game, at least, Ohio State and Indiana.
Yeah. Yep.
A lot better than that crap we saw. You know, I love, not that it matters, but I just, I don't really talk about the basketball game. I love how Danny White tweets out everything school because he got excited. We had a top 3 recruiting class in golf, Tony. And that's after we get our ass beaten football against the in-state school that we should own. And after we before we get our ass beat to Illinois for our 3rd straight loss in basketball. You'd think the guy could read the room, but I guess he's making enough money, he don't care about the room.
Yeah, the room left him a long time ago, I would say.
Yeah, can't stand the guy. Cannot stand the guy. And honestly, that's all I got is to have to call and complain about Danny Dollars. Danny Madoff, as Bear has named him. Great nickname. Enjoying the show, Tony.
Danny Madoff. Bear. 865-200-5402 is our number if you want to join. Here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by Marcos Garza, the Garza Law Firm. Yeah, a lot of things with Danny Matt right now. It's funny when you're winning at everything and Danny's entertainment district seems like a good idea. A lot of that stuff, Matt, gets really off-putting when when Vanderbilt smashes you last week, and now all of a sudden we can't win a game in basketball. A lot of that, Matt, really gets a little bit of Danny goes a long way right about now, Matt.
Yeah, you gotta tone some of that stuff back and just kind of stay off the radar when things aren't going well right now.
So Tennessee's now lost 3 straight games in the Rick Barnes era for the 3rd time since he's been here, and their next shot out will be next time out when they play against Louisville, and that is going to be a real handful of a basketball game as we go back to our phones. And if you'll remember, Tennessee really put it on them last year to start the year. But that Louisville basketball club today beat Indiana 87-78. They're 6th in America. They're off to an 8-1 start, and they are the toast of the Commonwealth. Matt, if we played Kentucky last night, okay, what would that game look like? Talk about 2 Southeastern Conference teams with pretty highly paid rosters in search of an identity right now. Both those teams. In fact, the entire SEC, Matt, is off to just a weird start compared to what it was supposed to look like. And that's the good news.
Yeah, and some of Florida's the guards they brought in, like the Ivy League guy, just didn't work out.
Yep.
So they're kind of scuffling, although they actually had the lead on Duke there in the final minute. No, the league certainly has taken a huge step back. Auburn's surprisingly kind of a little bit better than I thought they'd be.
Yeah, that's
to
right.
this point, but yeah, certainly not. You're not just racking up wins like you did last year.
You know, a game I would have thought that Carey would have functioned better in tonight would have been this one. You use his power against their finesse, and they only had him on the floor for 18 minutes.
Well, he barely played in the second half.
Weird, right?
Yeah.
All the way around. Just a weird, like the game was played underwater or something. As we go back to our phone lines, hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony, baby, it's fake Tyler Bray. How you doing, brother?
Hey, fake T. Bray, welcome in.
Hey, I kind of agree with your last point there. I don't know why Carey's not playing more in the second half there because, looking at who they brought in from a NIL and transfer portal standpoint, I feel like that's probably the best guy that they brought besides Gillespie. I mean, that guy can play ball.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird that he wasn't out there tonight. Matt made an interesting point earlier. They had a couple combinations on the floor in the second half where you looked at that lineup and you said, okay, who's scoring here? And then the second question is,
what was Phillips' minutes compared to Carey's?
Phillips tonight played 18 minutes to Carey's 18 minutes. They both played 18.
Yeah, I think Carey should be playing a little bit more than him. Just my opinion. Like, that guy's pretty dominant when he's out there.
Especially in a game like tonight where you're playing a finesse basketball team and you can take advantage of that. That was one of the concerns, talking to a couple people from Illinois this week, one of the concerns leading up to the game was that Tennessee would be able to take advantage of them, which they never did. They allowed Illinois to get comfortable in the half court and do some target practice on them, is what happened tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looked like to me.
Yep.
To my other point is, I think we need to talk to Weeship Flores Allen and renegotiate the negative contract because, I have a hard time saying that he's wrong. Like, could you have probably spent the immense money better on the shooting guard?
Well, I mean, obviously hindsight's
it's hard
always...
to say he's wrong just seeing what we're seeing right now, Tony. Let's all be...
No. Listen. The thing about Amen is he's got a bad wheel right now. They're not telling anybody that, but he does. But the other thing about him is that physically, hey, Matt, let's just call this what it is. Physically, he's an 18-year-old kid out there against 21, 22-year-old kids, and he's getting shoved around, Matt, which, by the way, we kind of expected a little bit of that to happen, like against Houston, but he's getting shoved around right now, Matt. It's pretty official.
Yeah, he's not able to play through contact really at all. I'm not sure how much that can get better this season because you just got to develop physically, and he's just so skinny that he can't really do that and play through contact and finish around the rim and get some and ones. He just hasn't been able to do that. So, I mean, you see spurts here and there where he makes some nice moves in some ISO spots and can get that kind of mid-range jumper. He can get that shot pretty well. He can get some lift and create some separation there. But I mean, he's just struggling to see it go in right now and kind of already going through some of the freshman woes that usually don't hit till like the end of January.
Yep. Yeah, he's hitting the wall in early December.
I feel like part of it though, Tony, is that like if this is your like big money guy, I understand like the freshman woes and he might be banged up or whatever, but just go hammer it, like go all out as much as you can. And I feel like he's being extremely passive when he gets the ball in his hand.
He's beat up though. They're not going to tell you that. I'm just telling you, you're not seeing the guy you saw earlier in the year, and it's really, and I appreciate the call, it's really twofold though, right? The first thing is that these teams are more physical, and they're being more physical with them. They're being handsy and physical. And then the second thing is that he's beat up a little bit, so which is going to hurt you elevating. It's going to hurt your explosiveness. It's going to hurt you, but again, I'm back to this. When I watch him, and I watch him against these veteran players, at one time in college basketball, that's why, unless you were an exemplary breakout, freako freshman, like the kid at Duke, the one Boozer kid. There are two Boozer brothers. One of them looks like a freshman, and the other one looks like He's a damn freak. And I think that's kind of what Tennessee, I think that's what Barnes thought they were going to get in this guy. To this point, it's not what they've gotten. It doesn't mean that in 2 months or 2.5 months that this guy can't develop. Those of you pronouncing this team this or pronouncing this team that, listen, that's a fool's errand. I'm going to remind you, the Elite Eight team of Dalton Connect had a 3-game stretch like this, and in the third game of that stretch, they got absolutely decapitated at Carolina. So you can't freak out in December. I put it this way, I would much rather have the football team we have than the team I saw on the court with Kentucky last night, because they have 0 answers. We have some answers, and they're beat up a little bit too, but I just look at our team and I say, man, the margin for error with us is the 3 ball's got to go in a little more, and you've got to make your layups, and you cannot go 8 of 18 from the foul line. This team against real competition will never be able, Matt, to survive those kinds of things. Just no way. We don't have enough basketball team there.
You've got to improve defensively.
Yes.
I mean, you can't give up as many transition buckets as you do.
Yeah.
And giving up so many open shots with the late rotations and things. You've got to shore it up defensively, because I'm not sure, we talked about it, I'm not sure where all the scoring is going to come from. So the way to win games is they kind of clamp down and win those kind of ugly, lower possession, lower scoring games.
Yeah. And look, I don't know. Barnes might have a team this year that doesn't fit. Nobody's perfect. And again, when they didn't get the McNeely guy, who would have been a key player for them, he's 4th or 5th option on that Louisville team right now that we're going to see in here. And it's going to be a real handful. Back to the phones we go. The Vols lose to Illinois tonight, 75-62. Hi, you're on the air. Welcome in.
Tony, you've got Nega Dave. Now you got Nega Bogue. Nega CK Bogey is here.
Hey, Bogota. Welcome in.
I'm just discouraged.
Yeah.
And I tell you what the key is. When Tony Vols left this city, it went to the crapper. How about that? I'm blaming Tony Vols for leaving Knoxville, because it's just gone downhill ever since. I mean,
curse of the Tony Vols.
They can't win it. Yeah. Tony Vols.
I hope you're wrong, but
I don't know.
Since he walked out the door, it isn't looking good. I know that.
No, it ain't been looking good. It was, like Austin Powers, and Tennessee's lost their mojo, man.
Yeah.
They lost their mojo, baby. You're talking about Ament. I get it, and I'm not totally giving up on these guys, I guess. But the potential that we've seen, or that's been assembled, is not producing.
No.
And I don't know if Barnes has got an identity crisis, because he's a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
And he's trying to play offense.
Yes.
And I don't know if he knows how to do it. I mean, the last couple of years you had Connect and Chaz Lanier who could play offense.
Yes.
And you had 2 great defenders to go with them, that Ziggy and Mesha.
Yeah.
Are they going to figure it out this year is the question.
End of the day, it's a guard game. End of the day, one of these 2 guards has to take a huge step. End of the day, you might have to put Ament at 2 guard, which was a thought I had early in the season. End of the day, Boswell can't play against real basketball teams with Gillespie going 6 for 20 from the field. And the Berg guy, they're trying different things with him, and like Matt said, I mean he just looks like a fish out of water right now at this level.
He's a mistake waiting to happen.
Yeah, he is.
No offense to the poor guy.
Yeah, he is.
And Boswell's got a nice shot. He hit a couple. I don't know why personally he doesn't take more shots. And Abram too has been hitting shots. And he, to me, I don't think he shoots enough. I guess there's a lot of criticism when you lose. You make 10 more free throws, you're in that game probably too.
Of course.
You can't miss that many free throws. And I don't understand why you miss so many free throws, and they've done it for now at least 2 games.
Well, that's again, this team is early in the season developing an identity that's not a winning one. They're making losing plays, and that's something under Barnes that his teams just haven't done. They don't give points away on the defensive end. This team's giving up way too many easy buckets. Tonight, that secondary transition stuff that was happening on their defense with the kick and the drive and the kick and the drive and the kick and the drive, I mean, at some point, you got to take that away. You would think at some point. Got to take the dribble drive away. But when you're allowing, and you're Gillespie, and you're getting worked to that degree by whomever, you know, Colin Boswell, when he left the game earlier tonight, and Mark Griffin talked about him yesterday, man, if he would have stayed out of that game, that would have been a real opportunity to steal this one. When he comes back, boy, he was really good when it mattered.
Yeah, very true, very true. Well, if you don't like 3 losses in a row, how about 4? Get ready for Louisville. They are good.
Yeah, thank
That's
you.
a good team.
Thank you, brother. I don't want to think about that, but the one thing about Barnes in 10 years, to have only lost 3 games in a row 3 times in his time here is remarkable. Playing the schedule that they've played, that is an utterly incredible factoid about Rick Barnes and Tennessee basketball. And, you know, somebody asked me, are they going to fall out of the top 25? I don't know. I mean, they don't look, eye test wise, you know, they don't look like a top team right now. But here's the thing about, you have to keep it all in perspective. It's way early in the season, and we'll continue to overreact to it. It's Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. More after this. We'll get you back momentarily to another action-packed episode, or this action-packed episode of Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime, presented by Marcos Garza and the Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Special shout out to our friends at TLD Logistics, who provide your phone activity. My friends at TLD Logistics are online at tldlogistics.com. Whatever your shipping need, TLD Logistics has you covered. Also, a special shout out to Waterside Contracting. Maybe you have a dream. Maybe, this wintertime you're starting to think, I need to buy some land. I need to build on it. Waterside Contracting is your ticket. 25 years of making dreams come true for hundreds in our area. Whether it's custom homes or remodels, Waterside Contracting will build on your lot. They do incredible work all over the area. Check out the website, watersidecontractingllc.com. That's watersidecontractingllc.com. Quality without compromise, Waterside Contracting. When it's time for a fresh coat of paint, look, you're not going to run. You're not going to walk. You're going to run. That's what I'm trying to say to Walker's Painting. Walker's Painting, interior and exterior. Walker's Painting, making it beautiful since 1999 across our Knoxville area. New construction, repaints, commercial, free estimates available. And get this, mention you heard about it right here on Garza Law, Tennessee basketball overtime. 10% off your first job. Let's go! Run. Don't walk to Walker's Painting. 865-688-1410. That's 865-688-1410. Walker's Painting. You can check out the link if you forgot the number on our website over at tclub.team. And one other note for you before we get you back to the action. Living Vol fan, make Alumni Hall your one-stop shop for the Vol fans on your shopping list this holiday season. Come on, there's nothing better than your favorite Tennessee gear under the tree, whether it's a nice polo shirt or a new hoodie or something for that man cave. Pop in and see my friends at Alumni Hall, and pop your friends with something new from Alumni Hall, the best selection of Tennessee gear. Alumni Hall, 3 Knoxville locations, also in Bristol, Johnson City, Murfreesboro, and alumnihall.com. It's easy to have a big orange holiday. Happy holidays from everyone at Alumni Hall, the ultimate Vol shopping experience. And now let's get back to another award-winning, action-packed episode of Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. Easy for me to execute in here. The Vols fall 75-62 tonight in Nashville. The people that paid for the $500 courtside seats saw 0 field goals from the Vols in the last 421 and 0 field goals from Illinois in the last 224. So not exactly a scintillating stretch drive, but obviously the game over by then. Tennessee, compared to past Barnes teams, this team here is not doing winning things. It's pretty simple. They're not defending to a level you're going to have to defend to if you're going to defeat solid teams, and then you're just on offense, you're just not doing enough. And tonight in the game, I just look at some of the different numbers. The Vols tonight, indicative of a team that didn't shoot the ball well. One thing they did do tonight is grab 23 offensive rebounds. I'm back to this. Illinois is a finesse team. Again, why don't you have Carey in the game more? It's an interesting question to ask. Coming off a huge game where it was feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me, feed me. And I'm looking at Ohio State here, reminding me of Ezekiel Elliott back in the day when he used to do feed me, feed me, feed me. But let's go back to the phones and get our next call in on a night where Tennessee falls 75-62. 3 losses in a row. Doesn't happen very much in the Rick Barnes era. Hello and welcome in. All lines jammed here on Garza Law, Tennessee Basketball Overtime. You're on the air. Hi.
No, Tony, you're right. It doesn't happen very often. We've been blessed. But Carey missed about 4 bunnies over a 5-minute stretch midway through the second half. And because of the way they were playing all that 5 out and they put Phillips back in down the stretch for quickness at a big that could like run around the court with them, because Carey they were dragging him all over the court, and he lumbers. And then their 7-footers made him uncomfortable finishing around the rim, which is why he was missing all those bunnies.
Yeah, no, it's a good point, Rusty. It's not really a matchup game for Carey, but I mean, nothing else was really working there when they were just killing you on the offensive glass there in the second half. Whenever they would occasionally miss one of their open threes that get the offensive rebound, it's just very, very
all
frustrating
bouncing the half
to watch.
Court. All their misses were bouncing like the half court, but hey, that comes with long rebounds off of long shots. But this team cannot function and cannot have native men on the court with 2 bigs. It totally screws up the offense. They need to have a Mint play the 4, especially in games like this or Syracuse, and go with the 3 guards.
Stretch 4, baby. Stretch 4, baby.
If you can play with Igor at the 4, you can play with native men at the 4.
Mm-hmm.
And Boswell and Abrams probably gave you as good a game as anybody tonight. Those 2 guys at the 2 and 3, not a problem. And then you can rotate Okpara, JP, and even Carey at the center position and let them get their minutes. And a minute's got to take some time off too. And when a minute goes off, then you can put 2 bigs on again. But it's all a minute got to the rim in the first half 6 freaking times and had both of our bigs standing there, just having their defender make a Mint uncomfortable and an extra set of 7-foot wingspan in front of the rim to make him work for it. These losses might be the best thing in the world because it might force Barnes' hand to get out of playing 1972 2-big basketball. I mean, you know what? That's why we were fine against Houston. Houston likes to play 2 bigs. And our matchup, it was a matchup that didn't harm us. But Syracuse played that white kid at the 4, and then tonight they played all that spread you out basketball. And then on the offensive end, every time we drove, it was clogged.
It's really It's an odd deal, man. I mean, how just woeful we look tonight at times.
Oh, yeah, I mean, the Gillespie driving in there and walking.
Oh my God!
I mean,
that layup when they just let him go.
Boswell hits a 3. They come back to cut it to a 2-possession ball game with like 5 to go. They come back down court. They get the ball to the rim, and all our defense collapses, and they kick it out to the younger brother, the 7-foot brother, not the 7'3" brother.
Yes.
And he buries a 3. You know what? Make that guy take the tough 2 and don't help off of the shooter. We come back down, and Gillespie hits a 3 to cut it back to 2 scores again. They come back down. Same thing happens. We help off of the same guy.
Same guy.
Instead of making the guard take a tough 2, and he kicks it out for the open 3, and it's back to 9, and it never gets closer.
The Ivisic brothers killed the Vols tonight, and thank you, Rusty, as we go back to the phones. On a night where Tennessee gets rolled, and we're 51 minutes into this tragedy. Hello and welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's Richard.
Hey, Richard. Welcome in.
Boy, I tell you what, man, it has been a very long week for Tennessee basketball fans, no doubt.
Or for Tennessee fans, yeah.
Yes, it's been a struggle offensively, and first and foremost, like I said, I don't mind, the lineups, but if you're going to play big the way we're playing, then you're pounding the glass, you're rebounding great, you're getting extra shots. But if you're not going to go up there and make free throws, then you're going to miss shots around the rim. Then it does become a detriment. But honestly, I think some of those stuff Tony can turn around, man. Parr's not playing very good right now. I don't expect him just to continue to be on this stinker that he's been on the last 2 games. Hopefully he continues to get better. We need JP to get that ankle healed up so he can get out there and get more minutes. But to me, the real problem on this team is we've got, Tony, to go forward to get anywhere with this season, we've got to find a backup point guard that can give Gillespie, some breaks. Because he's not ZZ, and he can't go out there and defend and run an offense the way ZZ could for 38 minutes a game.
Hey, Matt, who can do it? Can Boswell do it, Matt, in a pinch?
I don't know. That would probably be your best option right now because Berg's kind of unplayable at this point.
Yes, very unplayable.
Not good.
Yeah, I think Boswell probably is your best backup point guard option. But, we talked about this with Ziegler for 3 years, how you don't have anybody that can spell him, even if it's just for 5 minutes, or let you play him on the wing for a couple of possessions. Like you just didn't have another, not even a backup point guard quality guy.
No, and it's another year of getting caught without one. And I know they got a kid that coming in next year they really like, could be a good backup or be a good point guard, and they'll go get another one in the portal. But right now it's just missed free throws, missing some shots around the rim. I expect we're going to get a little better offensively. The one thing I like is the way we can beat teams up on the glass, and we can get after a lot of shots. So there's a lot of things to like. All we got to do is just finally get some offense going. Kind of like, Tony, you said Illinois came into this game shooting in horrible, right? Well, guess what? They got their offense going tonight and looked really, really good. And so, eventually, hopefully, it should click as we go forward. But my biggest worry is we just don't have a point guard to come in. And Gillespie just right now, because he can't defend like Ziegler. And so he's going to get beat some out there on the court, and we just don't have someone to come in and spell him. And then, of course, with Nate, Tony, I'll get your opinion on him. And Matt, what do you think? I know they keep saying that he's, like a top 10 pick because he's got all these upside skills, and I don't disagree. He's got some basketball skills. You can see the big upside in him. But, Tony, he won't be on an NBA roster next year. There's no way physically he can make an NBA team next year. Period. He'd be in the G League.
See, I'm telling you, I'm coming to the conclusion. I think he's a little beat up, but I am coming to the conclusion that physically, he's not ready for this, man. He's just not.
No. And who knows, Tony? If he continues, I think he's going to have some better games. He's got to get his 3-point shot going because that's where he's got to get. He's got to get his jump shot going and start scoring from there because it's hard for him to finish physically, and hopefully he'll get that better. We'll just see how he continues to progress. But who knows? Maybe this comes down to one of those years that we get him back for another year, because he'll get to the point, do you want to go play G League next year, or do you want to come back and get stronger and truly show what you can be as a player? So maybe we get 2 years out of him. Tony, I don't know.
Never
right
know,
now,
do you?
I'd say he needs to come back and play another year of college ball.
Richard, that's a very strange statement, but the problem with the NBA is then they don't project and they don't think like you and I do, because they don't value the sport at this level. We've seen it time and time again. But what happens to guys is, if you go before you're ready, before you know it, you cycle right out of that league, just like Keon Johnson has. And I think he's back in the mid-state. I want to say I don't even think he's overseas playing right now. I mean, he rode the ride for a little bit, made pretty good money. He would have been much better off staying in school, developing his shot, developing as a player, but everything is so sped up in that sport. And unlike its NFL counterpart, at this deal, they don't care what you do. They just don't. They don't care what you do. They have their mind made up on you, and that's who they're going to draft. And I mean, look at the 2 kids from Rutgers last year. The 2 kids from Rutgers were 2 top 5 picks, and literally did nothing last year at Rutgers. I don't even think Matt, they didn't even make the NCAA tournament, did they, those 2 kids?
No, I don't believe so, no.
So, I like your pronunciation, Richard, but I just, and I get it, because physically he doesn't look ready. As Ohio State misses a short field goal, and I mean, this thing with Indiana, this is a damn dog fight now. A dog fight.
There's a lot of Julian Phillips parallels with Ament right now.
I agree with that.
I mean, Ament was obviously a little more highly rated, but Phillips, I think he had an injury at some point during the league season, but he really struggled in league play, and basically started coming off the bench there down the stretch when that team, and really was a non-factor on that team that made the Sweet 16.
But Ament,
which is ironic, because he was the first Barnes one and done guy that made the second weekend.
That's right.
And he somehow stuck with the Bulls.
Yep.
Like, I see every now and then he makes a play, like he's been on the roster, and he was basically a non-factor for us that year. It's just a different game. It's weird.
Yep.
But Ament is kind of in that, that positionless basketball where there's a little bit more freedom and movement is kind of what Ament needs, and somehow the NBA would allow that.
Back to our phones we go. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Tony.
What's going on?
It's Miller.
Hey, Miller, welcome in, buddy.
It a very disappointing night.
Yeah.
I'll start off something your last caller mentioned. I did read a story last week from an NBA guy that said it might pay off for Ament financially to come back next year. That he's one of those kids, if he goes, he's going to get drafted and all that. But if he would come back, he could be the first man pick as a sophomore. That he may benefit from coming back. Otherwise, he's looking at G League, and 4 or 5 years from now, maybe sticking on a roster.
Yeah, kind of like we're talking about with Keon. Because Keon left before he had a shot, but he had all that athletic ability and all that that ability to defend you, but that's all he had. I mean, he just was not a finished product at all.
No, and Ament is even further behind than Keon was. Keon was more physically developed than Ament, and right now I think Tennessee is better when Ament's on the bench. I think they struggle when he's out there. Tell me what he does good. Really, what is he good at?
I mean,
I guess you could say he's a pretty decent rebounder for the 3-man.
It's too early in the season. Yeah, he went into traffic and got a couple tonight, a couple of really good offensive rebounds to keep a couple possessions alive.
Yeah.
Now, we didn't cash in, so it gets lost in the translation in a game like this, but I see what you're saying.
You can't play him. I don't think you can play him at the 4 because who's he going to guard?
Yes.
He's too weak to guard those guys.
Yeah.
I would put him at the 2.
I've said it all year. To me, I play
and hope he could score.
Yeah, to me, that's what I do.
It really hurt this team not getting Rodney Rice
or the McNeely guy, which was their
either
first
one
choice.
Of them.
Yes,
I would have preferred Rice because him and Gillespie had played together for a year, but McNeely, I'd have been satisfied there. But it really hurt not getting them because that's their hole is they don't have a 2 guard that can score. And to me, you have to have Phillips or not Phillips, I'm sorry, Carey or Estrella. One of them has to be in the game to give you somebody that can score inside. Otherwise, you're just dead in the water inside. Now, Carey didn't finish well tonight. He missed a lot of bunnies.
Yeah,
but he can score. Estrella can score if he can ever play more than 5 minutes at a time. But I hope I'm wrong, but I see 18 and 12 out of this team.
It's possible.
Fortunately, the league is down.
Yeah.
I was just looking at some scores today.
Yes.
The SEC has really taken it on the chin.
Auburn's getting rocked right now, right? Auburn basketball?
Last I looked, they were down 12.
Yeah, they are. They're down 44-32 at the break, yes.
Ole Miss lost today. Arizona State, who is it they're playing? They're playing somebody. They're up 20.
You know what's crazy? Vanderbilt might be the class of the league right now.
They may be.
That's crazy.
Vandy is good.
Yes.
Calipari's got a good team at Arkansas. He's got some pretty good guards, unfortunately.
I just know, to me, they're up and down and inconsistent.
Yeah.
Right now, if I had to pick, I think they'll beat Tennessee that first game of January there. But
it's down there. Yep.
Yeah. Tennessee could easily lose 5 out of 7. Now, maybe by the end of the year, things are different. You know, you'd rather be playing good in March than right now. But I'm not encouraged that some of them have mentioned this reminds me of the Keon and Springer team. But you keep waiting for the 5 stars to take over, and I just don't see it happening.
And that could be the case. You know, that really could be the case here.
And what's the odds of all these 5 stars that Tennessee has signed in the last 15 years? That probably the best one ended up being Tobias. He averaged about 12 a game, but you can go back to Robert Hubbs.
You're exactly right, man.
Springer, Keon. Even go back to Vincent Yarbrough years ago. Vincent Yarbrough was a good player.
Very good.
But at one time, he was the number 1 rated recruit in the United States.
Hell of a player in high school.
And we have just never had those guys. When Duke gets a 5-star, they come in and they look like Boozer.
Not always. Not always.
But a lot of them have. No, they've had some that flopped too, but we've yet to have any that came in and just tore it up.
No, you're exactly right, though.
No, I mean, Kennedy Chandler was really good.
Pretty good.
There is a difference between being like a top 5 player versus in that like 15 to 25 range that Keon, Springer, a lot of those guys were. Like Amen's supposed to be kind of at the very, very top of his class.
Yes.
I think, and like we kind of should expect a little bit more out of him. But I mean, it's not like any of those guys were like just awful and bad. Like they all kind of produced for you, but it's a
I'm not saying
guard
that they were awful
in March.
It's a good
point,
they weren't
though. The guy that came in and led you like what you were anticipating.
Oh no, but Matt's got a good point though, because when you get a guy like Amen, who you say in this era is the highest rated player you ever had, you expect more out of him than you're getting right now.
Sure,
that's all.
I mean, back in the day, if I'm an old man, Ament would have redshirted and been in the weight room.
Yeah, so we were talking about that. I think that's right. I think there was, and I appreciate the call, I think there was once a time in college hoops where a guy like that, to the kids listening, but then you had a bunch of men playing. And these days, it's a little bit of a mix now with what we have going on NIL-wise. The sport's gotten older, which has made the sport better. We'll come back on the other side, get a few more calls in, and get out of here on a Saturday night, just like the Vols did. Brian Hartman, you are knocking it out. this week on this edition of Winners and Losers presented by... What are we doing? That wasn't it. Come on, Brian Hartman. That wasn't it. But, Matt, at the end of the day, I just I look at where we're going here with this team, and this is going to be, of all the years we've seen, this is going to be a season of sort of finding our way, Matt. We're not used to this, are we, under Rick Barnes?
Certainly not in the Ziegler era, where you kind of knew what you had, and I mean, besides your kind of key score that you added, you really didn't have a whole lot of development with your roster to do, and this is kind of a new deal, kind of like that Jordan Bowden team that was probably going to miss the tournament when COVID canceled it. It's kind of a 20-year year, which is really frustrating because you've got some play. I mean, Gillespie's only going to be here 1 year. Amen. I'm just probably just going to be a 1 year guy. I mean, he'll get drafted. He'll show enough to get drafted. So it is kind of frustrating.
865-200-5402. Indiana, ladies and gentlemen, is getting ready to beat Ohio State. You talk about crazy. You talk about like one of the all-time great coaching jobs in the history of the world, part 1, 2, 3, and 4. Kurt Cignetti's pretty damn good. Going to get you back momentarily to this exciting, action-packed episode of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime, presented by my man, Marcos Garza, and your Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Whatever you need in matters of law, they've got you covered at the Garza Law firm, online at garzalaw.com. Pop over there. They're available 24/7 at garzalaw.com. Also, shout out to our friends at Calhoun's. They are, ladies and gentlemen, the taste of Tennessee. Remember, the Feed the Family for the holidays. Holiday packs are available for you. Special shout out, ladies and gentlemen, to my friends at VIP Play. You bet $20, you get $100 in bonus bets instantly. The promo code and the phrase that pays is TN Tony. Again, TN Tony. VIP Play live always. 200 plus leagues, numerous bet types, props, options. If you have a bet in mind and you can't find it on your book, check out VIP Play, because everybody gets treated like a VIP over at VIP Play. Gambling problem, 800-889-9789. 21 and over, located in the state of Tennessee, to place a bet. Shout out to our friends at Connexial, Knoxville's own transportation logistics tech company. Proud sponsor of the My20 Drive of the Game. What's it gonna be tonight? Or have we announced it already? Connexial, your transportation platform as a service, revolutionizing your trucking industry nationwide. The goal is to help your fleet be more efficient, make drivers, make our roads safer, take control of your fleet, improve your safety scores, and make drivers happy. Shout out to Wichita, Ken, Kristen, and the whole gang. They will treat you like family, because they are family. KONEXIAL.com. KONEXIAL.com. Speaking of family, the guy that keeps it insured here in the Raymer studio is Josh Collins. Through Erie Insurance, everything from pillar to post in here, our entire setup is insured through Josh Collins and Erie Insurance. You will experience the Collins Insurance difference online at collinsinsuranceTN.com. And when it's time for us to go for dose, we don't go for trace, we go for dose. We reach for an ice-cold Dos Equis. Dos Equis Lager Especial, the Golden Pilsner style beer made from the choice of hops. A balanced composition, smooth, clean finish. Party guest, always invited, never overstays his or her welcome. A Golden Pilsner style beer, nuanced blend of malts and earth tones. You gotta taste it to believe that. Go for Dos Cervezas Mexicanas, White Plains, New York. And a special shout out to my friends at Performance Medicine. How do we keep these hours? How do you do it, Tony? How you're just crazy. I mean, it's nuts. You're working so hard. I don't know about all that, but I'll tell you this right now. My friends at Performance Medicine, you want to take control of your wellness? You want personalized health solutions that'll fit your life? You want an approach to medicine that puts you first? You want comprehensive, proactive solutions empowering you to achieve optimal health on your terms? You want Performance Medicine. Online at performancemedicine.net, and check out their YouTube channel over at Performance Medicine. And now, without further ado, let's get you back to today's edition of Garza Law Tennessee Basketball Overtime. And we're back with you in your Raymere studio, a night where the Vols lose in Nashville, 75-62. And right now, Virginia fighting for their playoff lives are down 10 in the fourth quarter. And the hope is fading fast. Meanwhile, Indiana trying to put the finishing touches on Ohio State. They've got the ball deep in Ohio State territory. They're inside the 2-minute warning there. And if Indiana is able to win the Big Ten championship tonight, complete an undefeated season, that's got to be one of the craziest turnarounds we've ever seen in the history of sports. Just crazy. Just utterly insane. And whoever's doing the evals inside that Indiana program, because if it's all Signetti, hey, good on him. I doubt it's all Signetti. Whoever's doing that is he's the real one. That's the real one right there. As we get ready to go back to our phones. Hello and welcome in.
It's a damn shame they're still 3 games away from a national title, too.
Ain't that the truth?
They should be playing Georgia for a national title.
That's the truth, Matt. Hello and welcome in. You are on the
air.
Hey,
Tony. Thanks for being there, you and Matt. Appreciate y'all doing this.
Thank you.
Brian Pan in Middle Tennessee. First time in a long time.
Thank you, brother.
5 of us went to the game tonight. Actually just pulled in the driveway at the house. And I want to kind of take Rick Barnes' joke from him and say they should give us a refund for that game. But anyhow, hard basketball to watch. And I know it's early in the season, but I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here, but we don't really have a go-to player. Don't have the guard play, but something that was talked about around the arena with other Tennessee fans is this help defense. Got you burned tonight. Illinois, with about 4 minutes to go, I got out of my seat and walked to the concourse because I'd seen enough of it. Hit like 13 threes, just wide open.
Wide open threes, yep.
You can't leave your guy, but anyhow, I would like to see more of Evans and Abrams. There was a point in the game where Evans got a jump basketball, and right after that, he got pulled out. I'm like, he just made a hustle play for you. I know he's messing with these lineups and stuff, but I don't understand why Berg's getting so much playing time.
Well, he only played 3 minutes tonight, but it felt like it was 25 minutes because, and Matt said it earlier, and I hate it for the kid, but he's like really in the way when he's on the floor. And they've tried him at a combination. They've tried to play him at the one some, and he just doesn't look comfortable there at all. He doesn't look comfortable on defense. He doesn't look comfortable on offense. He just doesn't look comfortable. As for Abram tonight, he gives you a nice lift, very active in his 15 minutes. In years past, you'd say, well, the reason he's on the floor is for defensive purposes. Here's the thing about this team right now. They're not guarding anybody. And you said it earlier. So I've got to get guys on the court that can score some points for me. Because some of the lineups they're going with right now, they're getting neither scoring nor defensive played, or nor quality defense played.
Yeah, I'm just hopeful with the 9 days off that Barnes and his staff get together and figure something out. It's like we couldn't, being in Nashville, we couldn't hit water. We fell out of a boat. We couldn't hit the freaking Cumberland River.
Oh, yeah.
Like all those bunnies that we missed. But, guys, appreciate y'all, what you do. Y'all have a great weekend.
Well, he said it. The Connexial drive of the game, which we were talking about in our last time out, presented by our friends at Connexial, is easily Gillespie's drive. Because the game's not the same after that. He goes in to lay a ball in, and he gets caught in between making a fancy move, and he thought about flushing it for a second, and then he realized, hey, I'm committed. I need to lay it in. Meanwhile, sometimes as a defender, the best thing you can do is just let a guy go. How many times do you see an offensive player get into air where they're expecting contact, and there's no contact, so there's no resistance to them, and all of a sudden it kind of tricks their brain a little bit. And he got to the spot where it was 6-7, 6-7, 6-7, 6-7. Matt, he didn't know whether to lay it in or whether to dunk the ball. And that's exactly what happened there, Matt. He got in a 6-7 spot, you know? You ever been there, Matt? 6-7, 6-7. You ever been there, Matt?
Oh, yeah. There's plenty of times I've had to decide whether I wanted to flush it or not. Yeah, it happened a few times playing.
Let's go back to the phones, and we'll get our next call in. Poor Virginia. They are in the process here of laying one down, but they just kicked the field goal to get within 7 with 3 minutes and change left. Meanwhile, Indiana punting it back to the Buckeyes. 13-10 to score there, Matt. What, it's like 20 seconds left in the game, Matt?
Yeah, 18 seconds left. They fair caught it I think it's right around their own 20, Ohio State did, with no timeouts.
And Mark in Columbo's Heisman Trophy candidate, Julian saying tonight, it's thrown for about 100 yards. A night Gitmo would be proud of. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, guys. BB in the Tri-Cities.
Hey, BB. Welcome in.
Long time, good time. How you guys doing? Thanks for being there.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, Duke's about to upset the apple cart, my good Christian friend.
There you
somewhere, Dennis Hopper and Gene Hackman are enjoying this.
Yep.
Hoosiers.
You got that
what
right.
What can you say?
You got that right.
You know, I think our basketball team, he's a freshman. He just needs to chill out. It looks like he's like stressed, overthinking a shot, just kind of chill. But it's kind of like a backup quarterback. If we're so deep, what's wrong? It's early on. Just kind of sit him. We got subs. Play somebody. You know. I don't know. I do think I'm gonna make a hot take and take a positive thing here. Just like finals for these college kids, I would not want to be part of practice the next 9 days.
Oh.
It is not. Can you imagine? You know deep down this is going to get really ugly. Yeah, he's going to push him.
Kirby Smart was talking in postgame today about Bloody Tuesday. He said, my guys want to hit on Tuesday. You know, I don't know whether he's using bravado or not when he says that. I kind of think he's not when I look at how tough Georgia looked today versus that finesse Alabama team that can't run a football and doesn't belong in the playoff, by the way. But Rick Barnes is getting ready to go Junction Boys on those guys. We know that's going to happen.
And you know, the other thing is, I agree. And we're usually hitting our stride in December. I still like our depth. I think if we come out and beat Louisville, I'm going to make a hot take. We don't lose till February. I think it's going to turn around. And the other thing is, I don't think our guards are going to be trying to dunk the ball when they have an open layup anytime soon. And I love Gillespie, but you just got to go get 2 points right there, you know?
Yeah, and again, I just think it's one of those things where he just can't believe he didn't draw contact. They just let him go. They let him score, and I think he thought he was going to draw contact there.
Well, I'll let you go. This Signetti post-interview is going to be next level. Appreciate you guys.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, Signetti is an absolute maniac. As I get our next call in, as Indiana finishes an undefeated season, and they defeat Ohio State 13-10, and the Vols lose tonight, and they've lost 3 in a row. And I don't know what's more surprising because they both are pretty damn shocking to me. Hi, welcome in. You're on the air.
Hey, Tony. It's KT. How's it going?
Hey, KT. Welcome in.
Hey, just curious. The last couple of years, we went with like Lanier and Connect.
Yep.
Out of the portal. This year, we kind of, or I say we, I guess Rick kind of put all his eggs in the cement basket. What do you think was the change in that? Was he just that enamored by this guy?
1 year ago, they had a guy. No, Ament was a latecomer on their cycle. If you'll remember, he courted the Haslams back in the spring to get him here. If you'll remember, he was going to basketball games with them. And so Ament was kind of a late add to the puzzle. Tennessee had a guy 1 year ago as their next Lanier, but he didn't have a season that panned out for them, so they moved off of him. But heading into last season, they had already had a deal with somebody, but it was contingent upon that player finishing the year and having a good year, and it just didn't work for that player. I'm not going to say the player's name. It's not important. But suffice it to say, they've had a plan here, a succession plan. And then to cover for that, they went and got the McNeely kid out of the portal, who we're going to see the next time the Vols take the floor with Louisville, who would have been a perfect two-guard for what they had. Because if they would have had – and the problem with McNeely was that the major that he wanted to transfer with at school is not offered by Tennessee as a grad level course. And I mean, bully for the kid. He actually wants to go to school, unlike a lot of these people. So, it's just bad luck, man. It was just bad. And then Rodney Rice. Here's why Tennessee didn't have Rodney Rice, because Dave keeps talking about how you could have had both. Listen, if you'd have had both Gillespie and Rice, you'd have been paying them $6 million. And here's why. Because Gillespie was not going to sit there and let Rodney Rice, who's not his equal, Gillespie's a better basketball player than him. He's only going to make $1.5 million to $2 million, and Rodney Rice going to make north of $3 million after what USC offered him. That was not going to happen. So this Rodney Rice discussion, I'll be beating it down all year. It's really pie in the sky conversation, because nobody has that kind of budget where you're going to pay $6 million for those two players. So it was just a confluence of things that ends up with them taking a flyer on a couple of two guards and this kid from Israel who looks, to this point, very uncomfortable. And look, the season's still way young, which can be either good news or it can be bad news. And right now, I think the jury's out on whether that's good news or bad news in my mind.
Yeah, it's way young, but that guy from Israel, man, to me, he don't look like he belongs on a major.
No.
He looks like a church league player.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like I don't know what they've seen in this guy, but
right.
I don't think it's just me. When he's out in the court, he does not look like he belongs out there.
No, he looks church league-ish. That's a pretty good line by you, actually.
And like I'm worried about our bigs, like Parra and Phillips. Like last year when we had ZZ, man, he could penetrate the ball at any point. He's too fast for anybody to stay in front of him. And our pick and roll, the switches were so fast with him. We're missing all those dunks this year, and those were easy points. That was Akpar's and Phillips' game, was that pick and roll dunk.
Yep.
And we're not having that this year, and that's why these guys are not getting their points, is because we don't have that game anymore. They've tried, but even like Gillespie or whoever drives, they can't throw that pass the way ZZ did, and that game's just not there right now. And those two players, I think, because they're not back to the basket players, they're not going to score like that. They have to have those, pick and roll dunk plays, and that game's not there, and I don't think it's going to be there from what I've seen so far.
A guy I don't understand so far in the early season with their rotation is this Brown guy, and why they don't use him more. He's a freshman. I understand that. He's been kind of a revelation to him. He was a surprise player in camp. He's played well tonight. He didn't kill him. And I know some people will say, well, the team you're playing tonight's a 5-out team. No, you dictate offensively. You make them play power basketball. You dictate to them what's going to go on. And the Brown guy tonight is a tough guy to handle on offense. He was 2 of 2 from the field tonight. He only finished with 5 because he only played 9 minutes in the game. But listen, I appreciate the call. Thank you. Good talking to you. We've had a lot of early timer, first timers, one timers. Hey Matt, any final thoughts here on the way out? Because I gotta get some sleep.
No, just a really disappointing stretch. Hopefully, this is kind of the low point of the season.
Yeah.
And then this Louisville game coming up is, don't have my hopes up because that's a really good team that likes to score. Mm-hmm. And the way we defend, we're not defending at a high enough level to where we can. I'm not sure we can keep up with them, and it will really look bad because they've got a freshman who they kind of go through and has been really good for them so far. But I think after that you got two more kind of crip games. That's the games you need to kind of showcase Ament, get his confidence back, get him going. Maybe get a 30-point game out of him, they've done that in the past with guys. I know Adu had like a 20-20 game against one of these teams in late December once. But you need to do that and figure out what you're going to do. It is interesting. We've talked about the weird combinations they've played. One of my criticisms of Barnes has been he doesn't actually really develop his bench throughout the season. And this is a year where he's kind of doing that from the start, which is another one of those little wrinkles where there's still some upside with this team, but I just don't know if the ceiling's quite as high as the past couple of teams. But still got a chance to make some noise and win some games in the SEC.
Well put. Matt Dixon, thank you, brother, for coming and hanging out on a crazy night. Look, the entire SEC kind of blows. Last year, 14 of the 16 teams got into the field. This year, 14 of the 16 teams have issues. And Tennessee right now is one of them. Kentucky's one of them. Alabama's got some issues. Everybody's got issues. Florida's got some issues. The Kentucky fans last night were absolutely berating and booing the hell out of their team. It looked like some Phillies games, Eagle games that I went to as a kid, Flyer games that I went to as a kid. And so the season is young, which is either good news or bad news, depending on your perspective, depending on how this thing plays out, turns out. But for Matt Dixon, my name's Tony Basilio. I want to thank all the great and wonderful sponsors who help present tonight's activity. Shout out to Marcos Garza, my Garza Law Firm, online at garzalaw.com. Hope you have a great one. If you missed any portion of tonight's program, say you're on your way back from the game. We're going to run it back for you here momentarily so you can enjoy tonight's Garza Law Tennessee basketball overtime. In fact, why don't we do that for you, ladies and gentlemen? And I appreciate you being here. We love you. We appreciate you. And we're going to have an interesting season here this year because Rick Barnes and his staff, he's got a very good staff. They have to figure this thing out now. Got to figure this thing out. This is going to be fun watching these guys try and solve this puzzle. Do they have enough pieces to put the puzzle together? Inquiring minds want to know. So, welcome you to the Ramirez studio tonight. Tennessee loses in Nashville, 75-62. They charged filet mignon prices, and they served you flank steak. Gristle. That was gristle tonight. Filet mignon prices for gristle. And those of you that are at the game, you know what I'm talking about. Here we are tonight. And this basketball team is a rough watch as we speak. Matt Dixon's going to join us. Just a few thoughts on the game. First of all, you can't do what Tennessee did tonight. They made way too many losing plays tonight in the basketball game. You just can't. First of all, you can't go 8 for 18 from the foul line against a good basketball team. Not going to work. Secondly, you cannot only